Music has been a passion since I was a wee lad. Ed Sullivan, 1963, Beatles. I said, I want to be like Ringo. I want to play drums. My parents finally, after much begging, bought me a drum set, and I played for many years. So it's been a passion of mine. I went to prison and found there was music in prison. And lo and behold, there was a drum set there, but didn't always have access to the drums. So I learned bass and learned to write and was very passionate about audio recording and production and producing songs and music. So my former boss at San Quentin for 9 years, who's Father George Williams, who's up in San Francisco now, was kind enough and foresighted enough and allowed me to study audio engineering and do the engineering in the chapel for about 3 years. So it's been a very, very big part of my life, whether being a player or a producer or an engineer. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, you know what, I've always, even as a little kid, I've always been musically inclined. I come out of a very musical family. I remember the songs that my sister was listening to, 1963, 1964. You know, I do. I remember that stuff. So, and my brother Robert was an inspiration. He liked a lot of the Merle Haggard stuff. And my family were all listened heavily to all kinds of music, right? So I got a little taste of everything.
Well, funny thing, when I was a little kid, I think I was about 8, my dad was in the car business, and he took a Hammond B3 organ in on trade for a car, and he brought it home and said, "Do you want to learn how to play this?" And I said, "Well, sure." So, ever since then, I've been playing keyboards.
Music is my medicine. You know, I guess that might be the Native American part of me. They say that music soothes the savage beast, right? Well, I was pretty crazy for 17 years when I was in prison. And getting to get back into my art, getting to get back into playing, getting to get back into different aspects, whether it was the music or it was Shakespeare in San Quentin or the music program in New Folsom, right? It gave me a safe place. It gave me a place where I could just be the better part of me.
Music for me has been a therapy my whole life. I used it to protect myself from my own negative emotions. If I was hung up on a problem or unhappy about something, I could spend a few hours playing keyboards and forget about it. Just relax, get my attitude fixed, and that allows me to have a more positive approach when I run into a problem. Take some time away, do a little bit of music, think about it. It's very conducive for me. Music helps me process. And when I went to prison, I was already a very shut down person, a very, very tight, couldn't communicate well with people. I mean, sure, on a day-to-day basis we can talk, but for me to express my emotions or to ask for help was next to impossible for me. The music program in prison allowed me to meet a lot of people that could use my help. So I started helping people with their music, started to run the music program at the institution that I was at, and helped build a sense of community with music. So it's powerful.
2 things got me through prison, or really were the biggest help in prison. And one of them was my faith and my spiritual path. And the other one was music, to be able to create, to be able to perform, to be able to be allowed to produce events for the guys on the yard. And really, that creative outlet is so important for me, and it's so important for the people still in prison, for the men and women in prison. So whoever listens to this, if you can affect arts in prison, do that, because it really helps people get through the toughest times, that artistic expression.